Hey, and thanks for opening the file prep video. The purpose of this video is to give you the specifications that we need to create the best metal print for you. If you're a pro, all you need to know is we need a 300 dpi at size TIFF format file in the Adobe RGB 1998 color space. Now, if you're a pro and you know what all that means, you're good to go. You can go ahead and tune out. If, however, you need us to break that down for you, then this video is for you. Before we begin, let's kick on some music. Oh yeah, that's pretty nice. So let's start at the beginning. A 300 dpi or ppi image. What that means is if you click on image, and we're working in Photoshop right now. If you click on image and you go to image size, right here, the pixels per inch, that is what we're talking about when we say dpi or ppi. They're typically interchangeable terms. What this means is, if we change this number to 300, it tells us that the maximum size for this image that we can go to is roughly 12 by 7.5. That means that if we go back to the 72 that it was, now you can print this image at 49.8 by 31.25, but it's not going to look very good. We typically recommend 300 pixels per inch. Now what some people will do is they will click resample and they will type in 300 and save the file, and now they think I have a 300 pixel per inch file. But that's just not the case. That is not going to make your image look really good. And what we're trying to do is make your image look really good. Now there is some post-processing that we can do to get more details out of an image, but typically the better the info that you put in is, the better the info that you get out is. So just for the purpose of this example, okay, we're gonna make this print, let's say 24 by 15, roughly, okay? And we're gonna keep it at 300 dpi. So we're gonna hit okay. All right, now, so the second part of the introduction, I said a 300 dpi file in TIFF format. So what does that mean? So if we take this file and we go to save as, when we save this file as a JPEG, the file size is going to be, well, I'll show you. So even at the maximum, okay, this file size is going to be 11.5 megs, and that's with all the data that we have. So what's happening is the JPEG is a compression format, and it is compressing this file to make it smaller, to make it easier to send, to make it easier to upload, to make it easier to work on / process. Here, we like to get the best possible file, which is why we typically always tell people shoot raw, export as a TIFF. And what that means is TIFF is a lossless format. So if we go now, save as, and change it to a TIFF. So we're gonna save this image, no compression. We're gonna hit okay. Now, this file is 93 megabytes compared to the 11.5 in JPEG format. So TIFF is the best format in terms of uploading your Image Wizard's file. Adobe RGB 1998 color space. Now what that means is, if you go to edit and you go to color settings or assign profile, they really allow you to do the same thing. And you change the image to Adobe RGB 1998. Now right now, it's not gonna really make any difference in what you're looking at. In some cases it might a little bit, but what you really wanna do then is go to View and Gamut Warning. So what this tells you is, in the gamut that we work in the gamut that we can produce, we cannot produce the colors that are grayed out here. Now on your computer, it may be a different color, it may be green, but it all means the same thing, it's out of our gamut. So what is a gamut? So gamut it's a color space that we are feasibly able to hit. So for example, if you look at this photo here, the Pro Photo color space is wider than the Adobe RGB color space, which is wider than the sRGB color space. So all the colors that we can attain are in that Adobe RGB triangle. So if you check your gamut warnings, then you can align your expectations with what we can actually deliver. Now we can usually get pretty close, we just can't replicate neon colors, we can't replicate unrealistic colors, but we can still make them look really beautiful for you. Now, if you work in Lightroom, it's pretty similar in terms of, just the different things that it allows you to do. The only difference is it doesn't let you assign size or pixels within the software. You actually have to go to export. And then while you're in the export window, it lets you change the pixels per inch here in this section. And that is it. If you have any other questions, please feel free to email us at info@imagewizards.com anytime. Thank you so much for watching.